This program was pre-recorded.
You've entered the Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher, political analyst and socio-political prophet, and Kevin Gallagher, TV and podcast host, and opinionated jackhole. So settle in, grab a beverage. It's time to talk some politics. It's Fletch Nation. Now here are the boys.
Well, hot diggity, and welcome into another edition of
Hot Diggity Dog
Nation.
I like that. Hadn't heard that in a long time.
Glad to see you again. Roy, how are you today?
Hot diggity.
As we talk to you right now, it is Wednesday, the 21st of September, and we're coming to you from the Old School Barbecue Smokehouse on Coursey Boulevard in Baton Rouge, the state capital. And if I may have just a little personal privilege, today is the birthday of my dear wife, Mary Ann Gallagher.
Happy birthday.
So I wish the love of my life a very, very happy birthday today.
That's nice.
She won't see this, but
it's all right. She might.
Like I said, personal privilege.
Personal privilege. Well, that's good. Happy birthday to your wife.
Yep, she's a sweetheart.
All right.
Right before we started the program, news broke that the Attorney General in the state of New York is filing civil charges, a lawsuit against Trump and his children for fraud.
Yes.
Don't have too many details on that yet.
It's apparently it goes to the valuation issue that we've talked about before on the show about how he valuated property, or property was valuated that he borrowed on from banks, so on and so forth. As they claim it, $250 million. Letitia James, the Attorney General of New York, is a very, very ugly anti-Trumper. I mean, she's very vicious.
Well, not physically ugly, but she's very
vicious,
very angry woman.
Yeah, she is. So they filed a civil suit. She claims, however, that it might be she's turning over evidence to the feds if there's federal violations. Well, if she's got any violations, she did this a 2.5-year investigation, and the best she could come up with is a civil suit.
And I'm sorry, I don't know if any, I mean, I'm sure a lot of people will take a civil suit very, very seriously because it's against Orange Man, who is, as we know, mad.
Yeah.
But no criminal charges, I don't want to hear about it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's sort of there's a certain pattern going on right now. You think the pattern is that get Trump and get anybody around him. Mm-hmm. And bring them into some sort of controversy of legal controversy. Lindell and Mike Lindell.
That poor guy.
Yeah, his phone taken, so on and so forth, and he's now it's something to do with something that happened in Arizona with the counting of ballots down there, and Colorado, and he has the names on his phone of the co-conspirators or some such like that.
Or so they think.
Well, there's already been charges filed, I believe, and someone pled in Arizona, I think is where it is. I don't want to say that like I'm authority, like with a great authority, but it's Colorado, Arizona already. So there is something to this to some extent. Mm-hmm. Okay, and it looked like he's not going to be charged. He just had certain things on his phone that they wanted to see if there was some sort of conspiracy going on.
But it's a civil trial, which means
the Lindell thing is going to be it's criminal.
Oh, Lindell.
Somebody's already pled criminally. In the state of Texas, in Bexar County, the sheriff of Bexar County is going, I'm going to do all kind of things to Ron DeSantis for taking the immigrants and flying them to Martha's Vineyard.
Why does Texas have a stake in that?
Because that's where the immigrants came from.
When they entered the country.
They picked them up in Texas and flew them to Martha's Vineyard. But they ended up in Florida.
So what's his case? What's his case? Kidnapping?
Huh?
Kidnapping? What?
Well, yeah, I don't know. I'm sure it's a civil. Well, we know that the immigrants now have already filed a class action against DeSantis. I mean, I'm sure that they immediately went, we need a class action lawyer for this.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, so
So I'm sure no lawyer actually approached them and said, "Hey,
absolutely no, that would be that would not be right." So, or nobody talked to them about it for a lawyer. So the point is that in every place they can possibly do this, they are. This is an effort. This is a
tarnish Trump,
strategy.
Damage Trump, cast aspersions on Trump, make people doubt Trump.
Everything you can do. And here's where it's interesting. I think there's an intersection here. Is that the Democratic message is they're going to destroy democracy, Republicans.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and so this all has to do with they're trying to destroy democracy. They're trying to destroy democracy. They're trying to take away your rights. They're trying to do. In the state of Colorado, there's a sheriff up there now that's being sued or investigated because he helped, what's her name, Lori, the Congress lady from up there, Bobbitt or Babe, you know who I'm talking about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Boebert.
Yeah. See, so that's all part of that. I mean, there will be other things too. I mean, there's going to be stuff being filed against Abbott, more against DeSantis, everything that you can possibly do. There's a game going on here.
It was a little actually before my time, and maybe you were just a child when it was going on, but what this reminds me of is the McCarthy hearings and the whole idea of ruining people both professionally and socially because you don't like the way that they're thinking.
Well, I mean, there are some people who claim that McCarthy may have been right. Okay, I mean that there were communists in the government. Okay,
mm-hmm.
but the truth is, the way he went about it was very volatile,
heavy-handed.
Violated so much due process, civil rights. This is, however, this is a use of lower courts and lower public officials. I say lower, you know, in the federalist sense, mm-hmm. Lower. To create gum and grit in the machinery of the tank,
mm-hmm.
and that's what this is about, and that's what the holdup. That's what they're attempting to do, and to build a narrative as much as they can. Because listen, if you have to talk about inflation, if you have to talk about recession, if you have to talk about immigration, you're losing if you're a Democrat. Okay? I mean, it's just the bottom line here. And Biden did, by the way, on 60 Minutes, and talked about inflation. Oh, well, it's just an inch. It was really a terrible interview. Terrible interview.
Well, it also showed he's very not plugged into what's really going on.
Oh, very, very unplugged, as they would say. I mean, it's almost like Eric Clapton or Nirvana on MTV. Unplugged, huh?
Well, you know, I think a lot of people have argued for a long time that Joe has handlers. He doesn't run things. He's got people running things and strongly suggesting which direction for him to take, what move to make. So
yeah. When we come back, we're going to talk about the inflation and the economy a little bit and the politics of it.
All right, stay back. With us. Fletch Nation coming up.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Your favorite season is back, and now's the time you can score savings at the Team Automotive Group. You can sell your vehicle to us, and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Score VIP service and save at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Visit Treads & Care Tire Company's new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for over 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair and top-notch customer service.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
No one can stop me when I taste the feeling. Nothing could ever bring me down. Nothing could ever bring me down. Taste the feeling.
Caught spiders.
Premier Pest Services.
There we go. We're back with Fletch Nation. Thank you so much for staying with us. We appreciate it. We're heard on cable systems all over South Louisiana, and well, we're seen on cable systems all over South Louisiana, and we're heard on over 9 radio stations across the state.
So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
not
doing
bad,
all right.
Kevin. So, Kevin, the Biden interview on 60 Minutes, which Tim Allen got in trouble about, you know, because he tweeted, you know, the former comedian, another comedian, Tim Allen.
I still think he's funny as hell.
I think he's good. So he tweeted out that, so Joe Biden asked the producer how long 60 Minutes was. Or how long does it take to watch?
You remember Edwin used to say, take him 90 minutes to watch 60 take an hour and a half to watch 60 minutes.
That's exactly what he said. And that's what it reminded me of very much, was the Edwin quote. So anyway, so he was asked about inflation, and he got very belligerent about it. Said, well, it's only inched up about an inch. So what do y'all, what's 8.2? What is it? I mean, he just was goofy. And
41-year high.
Yeah, among other things.
And it's only inched up.
And the truth is that we know this morning now the Feds did what everybody said, 50 basis points. I was saying 100. They ended up at 75.
Split the difference.
And they'll probably end up at another 75 next month to get 150 basis points, which is going to add a significant amount to people buying homes, long-term homes, and really basically harm the housing market badly. Mm-hmm. Okay?
You know, there are people that have floating interest rate loans while they're doing construction or something like that.
Whoa, they got problems. And then we have, and by the way, the other thing that's happening now, it's already happening, is that when homes start being not affordable, guess what happens? Rents do what? Go up dramatically, and they are going up dramatically. So,
and they were already sky high.
They were already sky high.
As the man said on television, the rent is too damn high.
The whole thing is leading again back to the notion that inflation is not under control at all. And so the Federal Reserve, the Fed, has decided, sort of channeling the guy that worked for Trump, for Reagan way back in the early 80s, to take this down by raising these interest rates and to wring this inflation out of this economy. And when you do that, if people remember in the early 80s, you get what? A recession. A bad recession. Mm-hmm. And clearly they don't think that a soft landing, that's what they call it, they don't think that that's possible. They think that they got to wring this inflation out of this economy badly. And
what's that take besides a long period of severe austerity?
That's what it takes. That's what it takes. It's a long period. It's very difficult times, and I think that that's where we're headed. And here's what gets me about it, and I've said this before: it is all an unforced error. It's an unforced error because if the American energy sector was allowed to do what it needs to do, and let's get off of this garbage about climate change and get away from that and let oil and gas do what they do and produce what they produce and explore and drill and do the things that they do and get this price of gas back down to $2.25, $2.30, $2.40, you wouldn't see this kind of inflationary pressure. And there we go.
That's Sam Hanna.
Yeah, you wouldn't. He was calling to be on the program, but I'm not going to let him. I'm joking. I'm joking. Sam can come on the program anytime he wants. But anyway, that whole thing is self-made, and it's just really created a problem for our economic system.
It pretty well. Inflation, run up on oil prices, it all started January 2021, the inauguration of the current president.
Yes, it did. It started after January 6th, I think Democrats would say. See, January 6th caused all this. Well, that's Liz Cheney and all of them. That's what they're...
No, I'm thinking January 20th and 21st when a whole lot of executive orders were being signed.
Yeah, I know.
A whole lot of them.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Oh yeah, of course it's the conservatives.
But that's where we are with this thing. By the way, Europe is facing the same thing, and so is Asia now. Mm-hmm. Because the world has kind of gone goofy. I mean, energy has really created a problem all over this world.
People are buying into this climate change, Green New Deal stuff, and it's not grounded in hard, provable science.
Well,
it's just like the pandemic, Roy. Anytime someone tells you don't challenge the science, don't trust the science, don't question the science, it's like you're supposed to question science. That's what we're supposed to do. It's always supposed to be tested, proven, retested, proven again.
That's what scientists do. Is they create hypotheses and they test them, and they decide whether or not the hypothesis withstands an analysis. And they keep doing it over and over in order to get to the truth. It seems to me that we're not real interested in the truth anywhere. I wish we were, but it seems to me, because I'm fully capable of understanding that a vaccine may be able to protect you. On the other hand, I'm fully capable to understand that data is showing that it doesn't, and it's harming people. I'm fully capable of understanding that the earth is getting warmer. I think that's true. The question I have is that, is it man-made or not?
Or can any man-made public policy reverse it?
That's where I was going, Kevin. That's exactly where. Can it be reversed at all? And they say, some scientists say, it's already too far gone. Well, if you want to trust the science, they're telling you it's too far gone.
Then why do anything?
Then why do anything?
You might as well make our remaining days more comfortable. Drill, baby, drill.
Get you some $2 gas and roll, baby, roll.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I mean, that's party time.
If it's too far gone, then why are you pushing public policy?
That's exactly right. So, I mean, I find this whole thing to be really, really odd.
In our last minute, while we're on this subject, there's one more word I would love to never hear anybody say again, especially the news media. The word is consensus. A consensus of scientists agree. It's like, you know what? How many is in a consensus?
Yeah, how many does it?
It's not a majority.
51?
A consensus and majority are not the same
thing.
It just means some guys agree.
And a consensus in science means nothing anyway. Mm-hmm. A consensus in science means that you keep testing that hypothesis to find out if it's real.
Well, there are consensus that believe that man-made climate change is a thing. There's also a consensus of climatologists who say, no, it's not.
I'll tell you this much, and in the next segment we'll take it up. But if Putin has his way, we may have a warmer Earth.
Yeah.
If you follow where I'm coming from.
They get real warm. All right, let's take a break, take care of some business. We're going to be back, by the way. Another visit with John Carmouche is coming up later in the program on Fletch Nation here on The Pelican. Stay by. Take it away.
Hi, I'm Bobby Yarborough with Manda Fine Meats. Here at Manda, we know what the folks of South Louisiana love. They love great flavored smoked sausage, delicious deli meats, and specialty items like boudin and andouille sausage. Manda Fine Meats has been providing these products since 1947. We produce them right here in Baton Rouge, so you know you're always getting the freshest product at your local grocery store. Manda Fine Meats. Taste the fresh local flavor in everything we make. Make it Manda every time.
Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent. Depend on us for service, for selection, for price. Get huge Whirlpool savings. Shop now and save on Whirlpool appliances throughout the store. Plus, experience our price match guarantee and ask about special financing. You can depend on the know-how of people who live appliances every day. Bolello's Furniture and Appliances, your dependable independent with nationwide buying power.
I owed the IRS $10,000.
The IRS garnished my wages.
They put a lien on my house.
I'm self-employed and didn't report all my income. They claim I owe a lot more than I do.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency in the world. They do not give up until you pay.
I couldn't sleep. We were being audited. I called Tax Solutions Now, and a great big weight was lifted off my shoulders.
I called Tax Solutions Now, and they got the IRS off my back.
Tax Solutions Now had my wage garnishment lifted in 48 hours.
Tax Solutions Now can get you help. Our agents know the rules, can stop the pain, and get you the best deal.
Tax Solutions Now saved my business.
I qualified for the Fresh Start program. I paid less than I owed.
We connect you with a team of former IRS agents and tax professionals who get the IRS off your back. Time is running out. Call Tax Solutions now.
Call 800-778-4345. 800-778-4345.
The 2022 Mazda CX-5 with iActive all-wheel drive and available turbo engine. It truly ignites the senses.
Save on your new CX-5 right now during the season of discovery at Team Mazda.
Hi gang, Clarence Buggs here, inviting you to come by Old School Barbecue, 10655 Coursey Boulevard, where we tape the show live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday at 11 o'clock. Come by and feast on news, sports, current events, love of God and country, and lots of common sense, along with some of the best barbecue anywhere on the planet. 10655 Coursey Boulevard, Old School Barbecue, home of the Clarence Buggs Show.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystoneCountryClub.com.
We're talking in between here. We got some real topics to deal with quickly now. But one of them, the first one, is this whole thing with Putin. He is obviously trapped. He's obviously wounded. He's obviously in trouble in Russia to some extent. And he's decided we're going to conscript people, 300,000, and he's also threatened the potentiality of the use of a nuclear weapon. Now, look here. If he does, and we're not talking about a large array of nuclear weapons, we're talking about a tactical nuclear weapon.
The kind of thing that could maybe
like was done in Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Take out, yeah, like a city.
Like a city, like Kiev, or Kiev, or however you say it. And if he does that, then the game goes on. What is our response? And of course, our response would likely be 2 tactical nuclear weapons versus his 1. And if that is the response,
and then he'll respond with 4 tactical weapons to R2.
After that,
It's
then
like,
you're headed right toward a thermonuclear war.
Yeah, it's like the end of Terminator 3.
World War. Yeah, and China and North Korea and everybody having a big time. And of course, Iran will be having a big time too, because let's face it, they got nuclear stuff over there. There's no question about that, because Obama and Biden let them have it.
If straight up heavy duty war breaks out between the West and Russia, you're going to see these rogue nations just pop off whatever they've got.
Whatever they got.
And it won't necessarily be against the U.S. or Russia. It'll be just seizing that chaos to, it's time to take out Israel. U.S. and Russia are going at it.
It's going to be against their enemies.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be,
Saudi Arabia is a target. I mean, you go down the list.
The Emirates.
So they've taken, this Ukrainian war has taken us to a place now. And everybody's saying, "Oh, he won't do that." You don't know what this guy.
We certainly hope he won't, but
we said
he hasn't given me the impression of being stable in my time.
No, and we said, I mean, it's been the common sense sort of street talk was, well, he won't get into a conscription. He just did. 300,000 people. I mean, Russia's headed toward a full-scale war there. And they're not going to sit there and be defeated without using their arsenal to some extent. And this is dangerous stuff. Now,
and just looking at the TV monitor, quote from Putin: "This is not a bluff."
It's not a bluff.
Which, I don't know about you. If you ever play poker, one thing I would do when I was bluffing was say, "This is not a bluff."
Well, I would too. But I'm not a big poker player, but I would too. But on the other hand, we don't know in this situation. That's where we are.
Well, I think he's unstable enough to actually do it. That's my personal opinion.
Well, I think that he's looking at American leadership and going, okay, y'all want to play this game.
What's Biden going to do?
Let's play this game. What is Europe going to do when he lets one go, if he does, on a city in Ukraine? Because they're going to know then he can do that to them.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
but they also still need his oil and gas.
They also still need his oil and gas, although they're acting like they're ready to go ahead and starve through the winter.
Well,
okay.
Stepping out of the way of Nord Stream pipeline basically handed over energy.
That's right.
European energy to Russia.
And we've talked about that so much that we can't solve that, but we at least bring it up to our viewers. Let's get local. Let's get local. Kevin, there are people who are very upset with the president of Chancellor, whatever, of LSU, Tate.
Dr. William Tate.
Yeah. Yes. And the reason, several reasons why. One is that he vociferously criticized student newspapers, saying that they only report negative things. Oh, okay. I'm the worst person in the world to talk about the press, but I'm not running LSU. He is, and he's talking about the Reveille, and the Reveille has a long history.
One of the finest student newspapers in the country.
And by the way, folks, they have a long history of filleting public officials. They can do it really well.
And I don't recall too many times that anybody proved the Reveille wrong. On an in-depth story.
Those kids do a great job out there. And so if you offer advice to President Tate, it might be cool it, dude. But on the other hand, it shows how thin his skin is. Now, that's one thing. The second thing is, and we have discussed this before, what is LSU's response to those students getting killed out there? Particularly the
on campus, near campus, and in the most recent case, near downtown Baton Rouge, Government Street, Baton Rouge, in an area that is frequented. I mean, there are several. There's Red Stick Social is a new place to go to drink and eat and have fun.
That's right.
And she was within 100 yards of that business when she was gunned down.
A train apparently blocked her.
There was a train stopped on the tracks.
Out of the dark and
just fired into her car
and murdered. In her car.
She tried to back up. She tried to get out of there, but
folks, and I don't know. The LSU response was tepid at best.
That's a good word, tepid. It was like, well, we're so sorry, and our sympathies go out.
The mayor's response was tepid at best. I'm not saying that this is because she's white that we all upset. Hey, if that happened in Southern, they ought to do the same. Somebody needs to speak up. And somebody needs to say something. Not only say something, but to do something.
When the LSU basketball star got murdered, trying to break up a fight outside a Subway sandwich shop in North Baton Rouge, I don't recall that white people didn't care. They were upset, they were angry, they wanted justice. I don't think anybody cares what color a victim is in the city.
I hope not. But I can say this much. A victim, in this situation, this is not just the first victim. This has been a string now. We got us a series going on out there. And we do not hear LSU. By the way, there's a little thing, there's some kind of app is for freshmen at LSU. These people are talking, these students are talking about, they're very upset and concerned and some afraid. The freshmen, don't come here, they're telling friends. Don't come here, this is not safe. Folks, LSU is in trouble on this crime issue. The community around LSU is in trouble on this crime issue. And people have been saying that now for a couple of years. You're not running this right. And that's the mayor and the president out there. And we're going to keep talking about it.
Yep. Right now we're going to take a break. When we come back, I want to talk about why so many leaders, elected and appointed, don't seem to care about crime. Fletch Nation returns in a moment.
Got termites? Get Premier Pest. PremierPestServices.com.
Hi, I'm Hurricane Betsy Barnes.
And I'm Dr. Kay Siller with the Rocket Right Show.
We are two busy blondes on the go showing off life in Louisiana.
Watch us on Pelican Sports Network.
And Talk 107.3 FM. Check local listings for times.
Hi, I'm Katie, Operation Manager here at Old School Barbecue. We're excited about all of the changes here at Old School, and we'd like to invite everyone to come out and enjoy some delicious barbecue at Old School prices. We feature brisket, chicken, ribs, sausage, and the Boss Hog pulled pork sandwich voted best deal in town. We also have live music Friday and Saturday from 7 to 10 p.m. 10655 Coursey Boulevard. We can't wait to see you.
Hello guys, it's Debbie. It's time. I've got a brand new location. 10510 Airline Highway, Baton Rouge, next to After 5 Tuxedos. We have the perfect spot to get all your wedding and formal wear needs. Come see our one-of-a-kind name brand and get great prices. With 30 years experience, the best customer service anywhere. It's Debbie's Bridal, Airline Highway, Baton Rouge. See you soon.
Hi, I am Dr. Farrell Frugier Jr., and I am a general dentist at Frugier Family Dentistry. I was born and raised in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. I went to Catholic High School, LSU, and LSU School of Dentistry in New Orleans, where I received my DDS degree in 1986. I always have and will continue to be committed to continuing my education, to invest in technology which makes the diagnosis and delivery of dentistry more thorough, more comfortable, and more aesthetically pleasing. In our practice, we are here to serve the patients. We want to improve their quality of life and to develop relationships with our patients. In dentistry, we have a chance to impact lives on a daily basis, not just by doing dentistry, but by getting to know them and being a part of their life. We also believe in giving back to our community. So every year, we give back to the Greater Baton Rouge Food Bank, Toys for Tots, and Mary Bird Perkins Cancer Center. Please stop by and visit our office. We would love to take care of you and your family.
Your favorite season is back, and now's the time you can score savings at the Team Automotive Group. You can sell your vehicle to us, and we'll pay you top value. Or buy here and get a 90-day warranty on the purchase of a pre-owned vehicle. Score VIP service and save at every location of the Team Automotive Group.
Caught spiders? Premier Pest Services.
We're back with Fletch Nation. Thank you for being with us. And coming up before the show's over, another visit with John Carmouche coming up. But let me kind of set up the question I had for Roy again, read it before the break. Why is it, Roy, that we get such a tepid response from leaders, whether they're elected leaders, appointed leaders? In this case, we're talking about the mayor of Baton Rouge with this girl's recent murder. We're talking about the chief of police. We're talking about the president of LSU. They just don't. They seem to want to just whistle past the graveyard when it comes to rampant rising crime.
Because they're engaged in an effort to virtue signal. Wokeism has taken over people's minds on this. Look, a criminal, I don't care what color he is or she is or anything else. A criminal's a criminal. Murder is murder. Doesn't matter who gets murdered, what race they are, it matters that they got murdered. And whoever did it should be held responsible for it. And what they don't want to say is, when you say held responsible, they ought to have their ass thrown in jail and punished long term. And they don't want to say that.
And possibly even be put to death for it if it's a heinous enough crime.
They do not want to talk about it. And this whole thing for the last 6 years, criminal justice reform, has been about releasing criminals. And repeat criminals and not bond, and making them establish bail and all of that sort of thing. It's over and over and over again, and a revolving door.
And violent criminals laugh at the catch and release program, and they laugh at the monitoring ankle bracelet, and they laugh at the systems, you know, that they're arrested at 7 o'clock on Monday, and by 7 a.m. Tuesday they're on the street again, and they didn't post bail.
That's right. And so the question is, I mean, do you want to put people, do you want to protect society, or don't you? Because you're not, unless incarceration is part of the prescription, and serious incarceration, and incarceration that's certain and not lax, you're not going to, you don't even have the chance to educate somebody not to engage in this stuff.
Another question is, to what extent is this the result of 2.5, 3 years of defund the police, all cops are bastards?
All of that. This whole criminal, I'm telling you, this criminal justice reform thing was, it increased, it bloomed into defund police, la la la. It just bloomed into that and became a movement of you can't incarcerate anybody. Now, when did we allow people to go in stores and steal everything and walk away? Which is what's happening all over the country.
Employees are getting fired for detaining shoplifters.
That's exactly what's happening.
Because that's a violation of store policy. It's like, well, what's the point in charging money for the items if you're just going to let people walk out with them?
What it is that it's a decision that if you do that, you're going to bring a lot of attention to your store in a bad way. Okay, there are going to be protests here if we start cracking down on it. A store can't even protect themselves, because if somebody steals, plus the decision is made that the property being stolen is not worth the violence that it takes to catch the criminal or to detain the criminal. That's a decision.
Yeah, because even a 52-inch flat screen's less than $500 now.
That's right. So I mean, you know, you can pile 4 or 5 of them up and get out of there. You got your $2,000. It doesn't matter.
And by the way, that happens. The Walmart near where I live, on O'Neill Lane in Baton Rouge. By the way, now that's not where I live. It's where the Walmart is. But as recently as 2-3 weeks ago, 4 big flat screen TVs. They load them up on a flatbed.
Took them out
and just walk out the door with them.
I mean, it happens in jewelry stores here. It happens all over the country, because you
beauty supply shops, because there's a big resale value for these stolen beauty supplies. These women want this crap, but they can get it for a couple of bucks less from their friend
off the street
than they can by actually going and paying for it.
That kind of attitude is what has evolved out of this whole thing of oh, we can't put anybody in jail because we'll be called, well, you know. You'll be called a bad
Well,
man.
you know.
You know what you'll be called. And so politicians have responded to this. And I think that politicians at some point have to go, no, this is over. We got to build more jails and we got to incarcerate people. And that's just a damn problem that's got to happen.
Virtually every city in Louisiana right now has a shortage of police officers, most especially Baton Rouge and New Orleans. And by the way, New Orleans,
the murder capital of the world.
Thank you very much, Mr. Fletcher.
The murder capital of the world.
Just established yesterday.
And but where's the Baton Rouge data on this? I haven't seen any data yet.
We're in the top 5.
We are. We still in the top 5?
Top 5. New Orleans, Shreveport, and Baton Rouge are still in the top 5 most dangerous cities.
I don't know if Shreveport is. It was like 25th at one time. But you see, I haven't seen any data that lists all the cities.
Tell you, Guy, I hit that Channel 12 news website, KSLA up in Shreveport. I hit that website.
It's unbelievable.
Every day, and it's violent crime, and it's quite often shootings and murders every
By
day.
the way, 100 Oaks in Baton Rouge.
That's one of the nicest neighborhoods
One of the nicest areas in town. Venerable, lovely place. Right across the street, Acadian, is right on 100 Oaks is the Catholic Life Center and all the Catholic social program offices. There was a shootout right there on 100 Oaks. The thought of that is unbelievable. 2 cars, people shooting at each other.
Well, that's because
obviously gangs.
The people that do this, they no longer have any feeling of this is not the right place or the right time. We had a shootout right in front of a very trendy restaurant on Bluebonnet, J. Alexander's. I mean, we're talking about $40 steaks at this place. It's trendy.
In Shreveport, they had the shootout on Fairfield. And they killed the little 13-year-old girl in her house because one of the stray bullets went in there.
No, that's another thing, is that the criminals are not very good shots and they don't care.
They don't care. And so as long as this is allowed, and as long as people can do this revolving door thing, and there's not an outcry about this stuff from politicians and public officials and leaders, it's going to continue to happen. But I'm telling you right now that there are many people in this community that are afraid to say a damn word. Afraid. Because they don't want to mess up their...
They'll be canceled.
Yeah, that's right.
Because they're the wrong kind of people.
That's exactly right.
More coming up, Fletch Nation. John Carmouche in just a moment. Stay by.
Live and play on the fairway at Greystone Golf and Country Club, a serene, challenging golf destination located in Denham Springs. For tee times and membership opportunities, go to GreystonecountryClub.com.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good, but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With Private Healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private Healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready. And health insurance is your financial safety net. Health insurance has never been so easy and affordable. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, call the number on the screen now and speak with a live healthcare consultant. Don't wait. Get the coverage you need now.
Every great story starts with the rush of thrilling gaming action. Handcrafted flavors, eager to please. Getaways for some well-deserved me time. And rewards worth bragging about. If it's a story worth telling, it starts at La Berge Baton Rouge. What's your story?
Tremonti's has meat. Tremonti's has seafood. Tremonti's has much more. Tailgating and home gating platters. Huge wine and liquor selection. Beer and all the spices you need. Chairman Reserve and Wagyu meats. Ribeye rolls, shrimp rolls, kebabs. 20 flavors of sausage for the grill. Daily lunch specials and game processing. On-site catering also available. Good meat ain't cheap and cheap meat ain't good. Visit Tremontis.com.
You can't smell it, but you can almost taste it. And whether it's for a family get-together or a game day feast, having Manda in the mix always sounds good. For 3 generations, their quality meats and original seasonings have made Manda a Louisiana legend and made their family sausage Louisiana's family sausage. Manda Fine Meats, the flavor says it all.
Treads & Care Tire Company announces its new location on Hooper Road in Central. Locally owned for 50 years, Treads & Care is known for quality automotive repair with top-notch customer service. Treads & Care offers the convenience of shuttle service and pickup and delivery of your vehicle. You can also enjoy the comfortable customer area, complete with workstations, high-speed internet, and a complimentary coffee bar.
I'd like to invite you to come out and see us at our new location in Central.
Treads & Care, the tires you need and the service you want.
Once again, we're back with Fletch Nation. Thank you so very, very much for watching.
I think John's on this segment, right?
Yeah, you want to get right to John, and then we'll just kind of, as we call it in the swimming pool business,
yeah, let's
backfill.
get to John, then we'll backfill and have a couple of minutes to talk about even more stuff.
All right.
And really learn ourselves.
Our weekly visit with John Carmouche coming right at you right now.
Well, welcome back. We're with John Carmouche, a well-known coastal and environmental lawyer in Louisiana, a land lawyer. And we've been talking about sort of your past and your education and what sort of brought you to the fight for the coast of Louisiana. There's bigger issues, though, it seems, John. There's a new poll out by the New York Times over the weekend, the Siena poll, Siena College poll, that had 13% of the country in a good mood about the direction of the United States. What do you think about the direction of our country?
I think it's going in the wrong way. I mean, it's too divided, Roy. Too much politics. I grew up in a political family, but also grew up believing in the real world. And I think we've lost the touch of actually working together and putting politics aside. You can have your views, and I believe in strong conservative views myself as a Republican, but I also believe in a real world working together. I give the example that, you know, we show up at work every day. There's so many businesses in Louisiana that are huge and making a large difference in Louisiana. They show up to work every day to work together as a business. They don't show up every day to say, are you a Republican, Democrat, Independent? They show up every day, they work together, and they accomplish huge things in Louisiana. But it just seems like as soon as you turn on the political TV,
when you walk in the state
capitol, it's politics. And everybody forgets that Louisiana needs to be run like a business. And to do that, you have to work together. And I think we've lost that in this state.
I can't think of a way to get it back either. But the fact is that the point that you're making is that it's a necessity.
It's an absolute necessity. This state needs to turn in the direction of working together as a business to bring businesses here and to grow the economy and bring our kids back.
Well, you bring up the economy. I mean, what do you think of the general direction of Louisiana and our economy in Louisiana is right now?
It's terrible. I mean, we're in the 21st century, and we're running this state like it's 1950. It's time to change. It's time to be pro-business. It's time to bring our kids back and make them want to come back. And right now, we need dramatic change on education. We need a dramatic change on how we deal with businesses. We need to bring the oil industry back. I mean, everybody says I'm against the oil industry. I'm not against the oil industry.
We talked about that last week. I mean, you're quite the opposite, correct?
I am the opposite, because I believe in, if we zero out the liability, we can bring back.
You mean the sort of the coastal liability?
Clear the coastal liability, clean up this state, and make them want to come back. And we can bring the auto industry back. We have to make the dramatic change in the state that we've needed for a long, long time, and not just because of the oil industry.
That's one of the things that you have talked about that's so different, and that is, for right now, for the Biden administration, they're taking the position that the 5-year plan on offshore drilling, they're just not even going to bring it up anymore. They're not going to discuss it. On the other hand, you've taken the position, if you clean up the coast and the liability gets cleaned up, then what you want is an industry that can drill and manufacture and produce, and the liability be gone.
Not only the liability be gone, but there are great operators in the state of Louisiana today, and there are great operators that want to come here in Louisiana.
In the oil and gas industry.
In the oil and gas industry,
yeah.
and get our industry and our people back to work and do it the right way.
Yeah.
And that's the key, is do it the right way, bring them back, grow the economy with zero liability, and let's move on.
One of the things that has been discussed in the last couple of weeks, Governor Ducey of Arizona has passed what they call the most education freedom choice act in the country, where basically the money follows the student rather than going to the county or the school board or what. It follows the student. Wherever the student goes, whatever school the student decides to go to, the money follows. When you say dramatic change from Louisiana in education, that would be something that you'd want to look at, I would assume, huh?
Definitely. I mean, I have to study it, but my position on education is we have to get our kids to want to stay here. And our education, it needs a dramatic change in how we educate our kids, because our kids have to want to be educated. You can't make and force these kids to do something they don't want to do. So there's a lot of things that look at trade schools and getting these kids to be educated on the jobs we have for them in Louisiana. And
market sensitive.
Yeah. And make this a state where we promote working here, not promoting outside of the state.
Right.
So I think all of those programs are great programs to look at, and definitely the state of Louisiana needs a change in education.
But you would say that if you're not teaching the basics and doing the basics, reading, writing, and arithmetic, you're not really accomplishing much, are you?
Correct.
Yeah, that's the kind of dramatic change Louisiana needs. We have a couple of things that I kind of call it the quick round, and we'll go ahead and get into a little bit of that. You give me quick answers to questions that people ask. One is like, you say you're a Republican. What's your position like on the Second Amendment?
I'm for it, Roy.
I mean, that's pretty much says it all right there. You're for it, you know. What about immigration, illegal immigration, and that sort of thing?
I'm for building the wall. I'm for keeping them out. This is the United States of America, and as long as you legally come here, then I think you should go through the process.
I got you. So now, John, if I've taken my cue properly, we can now go to a break, and we'll be back in a moment. Thank you, John.
Thank you.
Once again, we always appreciate having some time to spend with John Carmouche, and we're going to have more new conversations with John coming up in the weeks ahead here on Fletch Nation.
Yep, they're going to be fun. So, Kevin, we didn't get to touch on Iran at all.
Now, I must admit, Roy, on this Wednesday, the 21st, I am shamelessly out of touch with what's going on with Iran.
There was the government put some woman to death over there. I don't know her name. That's a disgrace on my part.
She what, dissident? Seditious?
Yeah, I think they had some kind of trumped up garbage that they put on them. But the fact is what had happened was it has created a real backlash. I mean, it's been simmering for a long time. You remember in the Green Revolution when they let the Iranians hang out, just literally, where the United States did not help them. They were trying to overthrow the government at that time, and now I think I forget what it was called, the Green Spring, or maybe it was the Green Revolution. the point is now we're back to a place where they are, the citizens of Iran have had enough. They've had strikes over there, the truckers have struck, and all kinds of things through the years, but now it's becoming much more public, I should say. And I suspect that's because of social media, they're able to get stuff out.
The world gets in too.
Yes, the world gets in.
When you're living in an oppressive government, but the world gets in and people can see what the world is like as opposed to what they've got, I think it foments change.
Yeah, and Iran had a lot of stuff at one time. I mean, I know you've seen pictures of...
It was the jewel of the Middle East at one time.
Yes, if you've seen... It was Persian. I mean, if you've seen pictures of women in Iran in the 70s, they were very modern, I should say. If you follow where I'm coming.
Right up until the Shah was deposed and kicked out of the country. It was a very Western and democratic civilization.
That's not to say the Shah was the best thing since sliced bread.
No.
But the fact is that he's a whole lot better than the mullahs that run in the country now.
You made me think of something, in a lot of cases.
Give me that time over here.
Hey Marty, we need a time ref here.
Yeah,
there we go. 2 minutes. Thank you very much.
We were all lost here. We didn't know where we were.
You remember when the Gulf War broke out, and then the whole region went to chaos.
Yeah.
And some people were forced to admit that in some ways Saddam Hussein was maintaining order, though he was a despot.
Yes, that's right.
So
that's exactly right. But the Iranian people. You said something when we were talking about this earlier during John's thing. American people do not understand how the authoritarian nature of the regime in Iran, and they don't also understand the importance of Iran not having nuclear weapons. Biden said today, "Oh no, we're not going to let them have nuclear weapons."
Well, how's he going to stop that?
Well, they gave him billions of dollars in cash on they paid them off. That's not the way to control nuclear weapons in Iran.
But Roy, that pallet load of money was largely their money. It was assets that the U.S. had unfrozen. I mean, in all honesty, it was their money.
But the fact of the matter is that it was given to them.
Yes.
And what did they do with it? Iran is one of the great financiers of terrorism all over the world. Okay? So there was a reason we had the money. And the reason we had the money was to keep them from using it.
Yep.
So when you gave them the money, oh, well, gee, they're not going to use it? No, that's stupidity. That was the policy. And now we think that we can do something by negotiating with them. There was only one way to deal with Iran, and Trump and them had the right idea. Shut that thing down and make them bleed until the people of Iran say, to hell with this. And now we're seeing that start to happen. It happens.
The question is, if the people of Iran try to stage some kind of revolution, where will the U.S. stand on that when the current administration has been so cozy with their government?
We know that, and yeah, very cozy, John Kerry. We know that during I think it was the Green Revolution, back in 2009, 2010, right in there, that the Americans did nothing to really help them. Folks, that's our show today.
Yep. Once again, we've reached the end.
We did some stuff today.
Yeah, it's been fun. We want to thank John Carmouche, and we want to thank you for watching, and we hope you'll check us again next week for Fletch Nation. Bye-bye.
Listening to Fletch Nation with Roy Fletcher and Kevin Gallagher. Remember, if you heard something that ticked you off, upset your sensibilities, or threatened your precious safe space,
the opinions expressed by the hosts and guests are purely their own and do not reflect those of this radio station or its advertisers.
So if you're calling a lawyer, or planning a boycott, or a cancel campaign, forget about it and join us next week for more Fletch Nation.